Again, I'm Terry Evans, and I'm from Positive Health Project. And basically, I just got into position. I'm the MSM Crystal Meth Outreach Coordinator, and along with support services. Basically, Positive Health Project started out as a needle exchange, and we are still a needle exchange, but we have a nice niche in regards to the crystal meth problem that's happening with our MSMs of color in the New York area. What we have been doing, which has gone on extremely successful, is that we're doing an outreach project, which we call the PHP MSMs of Color Outreach Project. And basically, we target MSMs of color, whether they're African American, Latino, Asian Pacific, or even Caucasian, because we all, are considered somewhat men of color. And what we do is that we go into the bathhouses, we go to the places where the marginalized sex activities go on, and we try to meet people where they are. So we go into the bathhouses, young unregulated sex parties throughout the city, and at that point what we do is do intervention work and also prevention work at that time. We get a lot of our contacts off the internet. We have a huge internet hub where we do online interventions and get a lot of our information in regards to the parties off of the internet, such websites as Adam for Adam, Manhunt. They run a gamut. I'm quite sure most of you probably know which ones that they are. They've been extremely resourceful for us in regards to reaching our target population, and also being more culturally competent in regards to lingo that is predicated for the culture group that we're dealing with, and also the knowledge of some psychographic information and demographic information too as well. And how we utilize that is to find out how they're using meth, what type of activities they are using it for, the frequency that they're using, the times, the days, the hours. So we target our outreach in regards to that. So if they are, as far as the online, we are on there the times that they are, which is the wee hours of the morning, or the late afternoons on the weekends, and etc. When in regards to the bathhouses, we actually get a listing where we are invited by most of the promoters that are on there at times that are advertising to go there and do some of our outreach work. The outreach work that we do at these events, we call it's our safe sex demonstrations. They're somewhat erotic, and which works over really well, because what we do is that we're very honest and very real about the activities that are going on with crystal meth, how it's going to be explored, how it's being used, the dichotomy of it being used in a highly sexually regulated activity. We give them some solutions in regards to making sure that they're protected while they're engaging in this activity. What we've been doing that's been working extremely well for us is facilitating female condoms for men who bought them. What that does is that it helps them in regards to the negotiation for sex when they are at these activities. They can also preempt themselves before they get to the encounters by utilizing the female condom. So when they're there, they don't have to negotiate for sex. They can, have sex as will. The only thing is that they have to change every partner, which is kind of a given. But that alone is starting the dialogue of them being more responsible and taking care of themselves. The demonstrations that we do with those is that we have safe sex toys, we have models, we have dildos, we have orifices, where we actually show them at these parties how to put them on, how to place them, different types of techniques and lubrications to make sure that it is utilized correctly. We ask and answer questions at that moment, and we also give them the information which is highly needed, which are the condoms themselves, the lubricants that they also need, the regular condoms also, and the literature that needs to be placed along with that information as well. Along with that, we have the peers that we work with that help facilitate the outreach at the parties and at the venues. We've experienced that with the target population that we're dealing with, a lot of the men are MSMs and don't necessarily particularly, call themselves gay men. They may start off as being sex workers or hustlers or what have you. With that population, they are the ones that are the holders or the gatekeepers of the peer group. Since most men of color sometimes do not have any idols or anyone to look up to, You have to find out, upon their peer populations, who they're looking for in regards to their eroticism, how they're going to engage in sex, and more or less we find out the porn stars, the hustlers, the sex workers are the ones they look to when it comes to high sexually charged activity. So what we do, we get them into our peer program, and we have them go out and do the safe sex demonstrations with strap-ons. I know I'm not being a little bit too explicit for you guys, but this is the conversations that we have to have with people that are dealing in high-risk sexual activity. And they go out to the parties and they have their bag of toys that we call them, their dildos, the orifices that they need, and that they set up shop. They sometimes put the strap-ons on themselves, where clientele can put the condoms on them, so they know that they can accurately put the condoms on there. They have the orifice all set out where they can show them, and the clientele also reverts and put the condoms on the orifice as well, so they know that it's being done correctly, and so they know how to use them. So when they're going back into their communities or back into their bedrooms or back into the sex parties, that they know how to utilize the equipment and the material that we've given to them. This has worked pretty well for us, because what it has done, it has flipped in regards to now some of the sex parties promoters, they come to us and ask us to come out and do demonstrations, which is something itself is really novel, because the industry itself is extremely underground and it's low key. A lot of the CBOs in our area has had a tremendously difficult time with infiltrating these parties and doing the prevention work that needs to be done there, only because I think the promoters felt that it was a little too sanitized, the demonstrations or whatever, the prevention work that was done there. The way that we do it, it doesn't set apart from the activities that's going on there. It works along with the activity that's going on there. So we've received a huge insurgence of promoters asking us to come and do demonstrations. And luckily enough, the New York City Council understands the need for this and has sponsored us to do such, which we're really proud that they are listening to us, and they are answering the need of crystal meth usage, unprotected sex, and the whole continuum that goes along with it. At this point, that's what we're doing. We've gotten a lot of publicity in regards to the work that we're doing, which is again helping us in regards to funding. There's a lot of obstacles that we face in regards to it. Again, it is highly sexually charged, and we are talking about high sex activity, which a lot of people and some CBOs really don't want to sometimes touch upon. But it's the work that we feel that needs to be done. And with that, also, we have support services for RMS and crystal meth users as well. We call it PNP, which is Pleasure and Prevention. It meets every Saturday. Yeah, it's pun on words, but it meets every Saturday. And what happens is at these parties, not only do the outreach workers and the peers that are there are giving them information, they're also having conversations and dialogue to talk about the high sex activity, the high risk activities that they're encountering, and also the use of crystal meth, whether it's snorting or whether it's injecting. We have conversations with them upon that, and also get them to come into our support group. Outside of the support group, the agency has a continuum of care when it comes to MSM and crystal meth. We have a mental health piece that goes along with it. We have theory-based support groups as well that goes along with it. We have vocational training that goes along with it, because we're realizing that not only is it a public health problem and that it's a drug problem, it's also become a social economic problem as well, where that also needs to be addressed, because the traumas that most of our clients have gone through need to be somewhat addressed for themselves, to get them to a point where they can have a realization that maybe the behavior that they're doing is risky, and that might be something a little bit more out there for them. So we definitely try to address their mental health needs as well.